Hello everyone, my name is Elena Torres and this is my presentation on social media and employment. Now to start off, I wanted to explain how social media relates to employment. The beauty of social media is that it gives us a greater opportunity to express ourselves, but with these outlets come the burden of managing the multiple ways by which people get to know us. And that type of exposure has many consequences as well as benefits. Balancing these consequences and benefits is particularly relevant in the employment context, because most people spend time working for organizations whose businesses' interests may be inconsistent with their fullest self-expression. It is important that employers and employees be clear about how to navigate an expanding social media landscape. So, how social media content may hurt job seekers. So, are you looking for a job? You might want to rethink what you're posting on social media and delete anything that may be harmful for your image. The number of employees passing on job applicants because of the catenate social media content continues to rise. With that said, always assume that what you share on the internet is public, even if you decide to delete anything that doesn't take long for someone else to see. Almost everything on the internet is basically public. Social media now plays a role in two major aspects of the employment relationship. First, in recruiting and screening candidates, and second, in monitoring and investigating employees. So this is something that you should really take into consideration when having your social media profiles and when you are applying for certain jobs. So do you know about account ownership? The legal issue regarding social media use in the workplace is that of employee versus employer with the ownership of company social media accounts. So the questions that I want to answer for you guys today that are often asked are: 1. How does the social media account ownership issue usually come up? Well, when an employee is hired to manage a company's social media presence and already has a significant social media presence on their own, upon the employee's separation from the employment, the company and individual dispute who owns the social media accounts. Oftentimes, the former employee leaves as the only person who knows the account's login information, and the employer is left without the ability to access them. So this creates a very huge issue and often happens when an employee and an employer leave on bad terms. So why is ownership of social media accounts so important? The time and the money spent growing a following, promoting brand, and developing an industry and sharing content cannot be recouped easily. The line between personal and professional social media account can be blurry. So if this ownership issue is not hashed out in the beginning of employment, the employer and the employee may both believe the account is theirs. So my recommendations to avoiding legal proceedings is basically simply just it is in the employer and the employee's best interest to consider these issues at the beginning of employment. Sit down with your employer and go over or maybe come up with a contract of how things will happen if you happen to leave the company and who owns what. So now with all of these components to how social media and employment relate, it is important to understand and keep in mind the most common reasons why employers opted not to hire someone based on the person's social media activity. 1. An applicant posted a provocative or inappropriate photo or similar information. An applicant posted information about themselves drinking or doing any substances. The applicant badmouths his or her previous company or fellow employee. The applicant showed poor communication skills. The applicant posted discriminatory comments. And the applicant posted confidential information from a previous employer. It is important to realize that when you are working for a company and you have an online presence, you represent that company all day. So whatever you do reflects your company. So when you're out, you should carry yourself, with high standards, and make sure that you don't put anything out there on social media that will stay out there forever that could potentially ruin your career. So for more questions or consultations, contact Alina Torres, and my address is 271 Mount Carmel Ave, Hamden, Connecticut, or visit us at socialmediaconsultations.com. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.